Hey everyone, welcome back. This is episode 3 of our Python tutorial series for beginners. In today's session, we are going to explore a super important concept operators in Python. Operators are the building blocks that allow you to perform actions like addition, comparison, and logical decision. So let's dive in. So, what are operators? Operators are symbols that perform actions on data like adding two numbers, comparing two values, or checking logical conditions. For example, as we all know in basic maths, a plus sign else two numbers. This symbol means it's for check for equality and or not handle logic. We use them all the time in math condition loops and everywhere in programming. So there are a set of operators in Python, which are like six main types of operators. So first one is arithmetic operation. It is used for calculations. Then comes the comparison operators. It's used to compare the values. Logical operators for combining the conditions. Assignment operators to assign or update variables. Bitwise operators for binary level operations. Membership and identity operators to check relationship between objects. Don't worry, we'll explore each one of this with example. So let's start with arithmetic operators. These perform basic math operations like addition, subtraction, multiplies, and divides. So let's check this out on our visual code. So here. So we have defined two variables x is equal to 10 and y is equal to 3. So basically, if we just run this code, it will give us first one, it gives us the addition. So we have written here x is equal to print x plus y. So it gives us the addition. Okay, so next we have print x minus y. It gives a subtraction. Similarly, we can just like multiplication and division. So this is basically called as floor division, which means it rounds down the result. So if we see, we have seen here, percentage sign give us the remainder, and uh, the star symbols gives us means power or exponential. For example, we have written here 10 raised to 3 means 10 raised to the power of 3, which is 1000 if you see in the panel. So comparison operators. Let's go to the our next slide, that is comparison operators. So these are used to compare two values and return either true or false. As we all know, a symbol greater than, sorry for that. As we all know, we have a symbol. This means a greater than symbol, and a similar way we have a less than symbol. A is less than B. Okay. So if we see, if we have to run this code here, we can just give this a little bit of space so it's kind of readable. And as we have seen, we have mentioned a few of the comments here. So let's just execute this. Let me just copy this into our first tile. Okay. So if we see this, a is equal to 5 and we have defined two variables, a is equal to 5 and b is equal to 3. So when we type print a greater than b, as we know that value of a is 5 and value of b is 3. So technically it should be true. So we have got here a true statement, true output. Similarly way, if you see, if we want to type print a equal to b, so that means we can't, there is a difference, right? A is 5 and b is 3, so there's a difference. So it will revert back with false. So we have print a not equal to b. So exactly a is not equal to b, so it's going to return a true. Similarly way, we have tried here a less than b. See, a is 5 and b is 3. So basically, so definitely it's not less than a. So it's giving a false value. So let's go to our next slide, that is logical operators. So logical operators, we have three: and, or, and not. So they combine multiple conditions. So basically, if you have already learned earlier in your engineering class, so we know that and returns true only if both the conditions are true. So we can just try this out for better understanding. So basically, what does this mean is that let's go for a AND operator. Okay, so we have defined a variable x is equal to 5. So when we type print x is greater than 3 and x is less than 10. So technically, if you see this right now, this statement is true, should be true because we have seen here x contains the value of 5 which is greater than 3 and it is less than 10. So if we run this, the value should be true, and this is what Python is telling us. So let's go to run next statement. Here already like a command were mentioned. So if we see, if we type x is greater than 10, yes, it is greater than 10, or x is equal to 5. Okay, if this condition or this one of this condition is true, then only it will return an answer as true. So since both of them are true, it's coming as true. So if we type so for the next one, let's see this. So we are typing here print not, it reverses the result if something is true, not makes it false. So print not x is greater than 3. So let's run this. It's 5. So this is correct, right? X is greater than 3, right? But since we are using a not condition, it reverses the statement and gives us a false result. So next we have assignment operators. Assignment operators. So assignment operators are used to store values in variables. The basic one that we are using is when we are defining a variable, we are mentioning an equal sign and we are assigning a value to it. But Python also gives us short forms like plus, equal to. So that means, as we have seen on the screen, x plus is equal to 3. It means x is equal to x plus 3. So it saves us time writing an extra code. Okay. So this just means also x minus is equal to 1. This means x is equal to x minus 1. X of exponential equal to 2. X, sorry, raised to power to 2. So this means x of power to 2. So here we can just understood this and we can just go to the next identity and membership operators. So membership operators are in and not in. Check if an item exists inside a sequence like a list or string. Example, we can just try to run this in a code here. So we have this x is equal to 1, 2, 3. We have already defined these variables. Now, if we are typing print 2 in x, so we already know that true 2 is present in x. So it should give us a 2 statement. Yes. So again going back, print 4 not in x. So we don't have a 4 not in x. So that should also be running a true statement. So we can just define a is equal to 1 comma b is equal to a. So we are defining it again. We are assigning this particular variable definition to b again. So print a is b. So it's similar, right? So whatever a contains, b also contains the same. So it gives us a true value. So this and identity operators, these are called as identity operators. It is and is not. Check whether two variables refer to the same object in memory. For instance, as we have already explained, if a and b point to the same list, a is b returns true. Let's go to our next slide, that is combining the operators. Often we will need to combine different types of operators into a single expression. For example, this code checks if x is greater than 5 and x is less than 15 or x is equal to 20. If all of the statement is true, then it will print valid number. So let's give it a try into our VS code. So we have earlier defined a variable x is equal to 10. Then we are giving a condition like if x is greater than 5 and x is less than 15. So then it will also check if x is equal to 20, then only it will print valid number. So let's run this. So basically it's a valid number. So this kind of logic is what makes your program dynamic and powerful, because either one. So if we see this one particular condition is becoming true, so it's giving us a valid number as a print. So we have covered in today's episode arithmetic operators, comparison operators, logical, assignment, identity, and membership. So let's meet in the next episode.